Hey everyone, this is Kevin, your Aptpreneur, and the person behind the data hack for Uber that we have been talking so much about has been identified, and that's not the news story as far as I'm concerned. Truly, it's not. Reuters, which, you can see up here, and we're doing high-tech, fancy, live scrolling, whatever you want to call it. But Reuters did an interview with him, found out what he was like, who he was. Big shocker, he was a 20-year-old who was living with his mother. But there are some very interesting nuggets in this in this article, and I think they're worth talking about. And I'm going to read this part. It says, a payment of $100,000 through a bug bounty program would be extremely unusual, with one former HackerOne executive saying it would represent an all-time record. So here's the thing. These bug catching rewards, which do exist, it is true that companies like Google and Apple actually encourage hackers to hack their systems, and if they hack it, provided they don't actually damage anything and can find weaknesses in the source code, they will pay them a bounty bug reward. But Uber, as far as we know, had no published bounty bug reward program going on, at least not until this thing came out. And the $100,000 was like a record. No one had ever paid that much for a flaw to be found. So that says something. Security professionals said that rewarding a hacker who had stolen data would also be well outside the normal rules of a bounty program, where payments are typically in the $5,000 to $10,000 range. HackerOne hosts Uber's bug bounty program, but does not manage it and plays no role in deciding whether payouts are appropriate or how large they should be. HackerOne CEO Martin Mikos said he could not discuss an individual customer's programs. Quote, in all cases, when a bug bounty award is processed through HackerOne, we receive identifying information of the recipient from the form of an IRS W-9 or W-8 Ben from form before payment of the award can be made, he said, referring to the U.S. International Revenue Services form. According to two of the sources, Uber made the payment to confirm the hacker's identity and have him sign a non-disclosure agreement to deter further wrongdoing. Because, yeah, that's something that can obviously be enforced by the hacker. Uber also conducted a forensic analysis of the hacker's machine to make sure the data had been purged, the sources said. Which this is interesting because ever since this story started, Uber has said we asked them to delete the data. We asked them to delete the data. And they pretty much admit that, yeah, they didn't really do anything. They just kind of asked and maybe it happened. This is the first time that a source from Uber actually said, oh no, we scanned the computer and we made sure it was deleted, which, again, if this is all that was taking place, then why weren't we notified a year ago? Just saying. Let's see here. One source described the hacker as, quote, living with his mom in a small home, trying to help pay the bills, unquote, adding that members of Uber's security team did not want to pursue prosecution of an individual who did not appear to pose a further threat. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was. I'm sure the fact that they didn't want the hack to get out had nothing to do with it whatsoever, because it would have gotten out if they'd actually pursued legal action. But of course, Uber wasn't thinking, because if they had pursued legal action against the guy, yes, the information of the hack would have gotten out. But it also would have showed Uber as a company that was willing to actually fight for you and do the right thing once they found out they had been hacked. But of course, that's not what that's not the narrative they wanted to go with. GitHub said the attack did not involve a failure of its security systems. Boy, that comment is so stupid, I don't have anything to say about it. Quote, our recommendation is to never store access tokens, passwords, or other authentication or encryption keys in the code, the company said in a statement. Yeah, and so then the article goes on to talk about how how they found out about it. Basically, they got an email, what they paid out, what the guy is like. And that's on the article if you want to read it below. And it's interesting, not going to lie, but it's not important. In fact, here's the reason I want to make this video. The key reason, because this is all rudimentary, but let's go up a little bit more. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to do a video thing, because I want you to be able to read it with me, just so you know I'm not making it up. But here's the big one. Let's see here. Can I highlight it? No, I can't. Kalanick. Oh, wait, sorry. Wrong one. One more. It remains unclear who made the final decision to authorize the payment to the hacker and to keep the breach secret, though sources said then CEO Travis Kalanick was aware of the breach and bug bounty payment in November of last year. How is this man not fired? How is this man just outright not fired? I mean, okay, let's take a step back. Let's say he did not personally ask for this to be covered up, and he did not personally ask to pay it off. He was not involved in the situation. He found out like 1 month after the hack, or maybe even 1 week after the hack, and after the situation had all been taken care of. Let's just assume that. He still decided not to tell the world. He still knew about it and agreed in the cover-up. And he was complicit in the cover-up. And Derek K., how on earth does this man not get fired? Do you realize how many problems this causes your company? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. You've been thinking almost about nothing else since. What can this man possibly do? What does he need to do to get fired? That's my question. What does Travis Kalanick need to do to just get fired from Uber? This seems like a pretty good reason to fire him. I don't care if he owns 10% of the company. You broke the law on multiple counts. You are fired. You are no longer working here. Your employment is terminated. We are not picking up your auctions. We're going in a different direction. You might want to consider updating your resume. Why did this not result in his termination? Yeah, it resulted in a couple employees' terminations, but the big guy, the guy who actually hired these people, the guy who told them this is how we do things, the one who, when he found out about this, didn't stop and say, maybe this is a step too far. He gets to keep his job, or at the very least, he gets to stay on the board. He gets to continue to make decisions for the company. Yeah. So I think, this is our first confirmation that Travis Kalanick was involved in the data breach. And to be honest, I think he was even aware of it while it was taking on, and I can't prove it, but I suspect he was one who said pay them off. I don't believe it went down, and then he found out afterwards. And even if that is what happened, he still failed, he still broke the law, and how does he still have a board position? How? You know what? Not even going to go there anymore. What do you folks think? Do you think he should still have his job and his board position? Do you think, can you explain to me why he hasn't been let go? And I know he owns a lot of stock, but I still think companies could get rid of people who break the law. So let me know. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.